So for the two of you who don't know, Destiny released on September 9th to an incredible amount of hype. And I mean incredible. This game was everywhere. And with an open beta as well as a huge advertising campaign, many people made judgments about the game before it was even released. I was actually able to keep myself mostly in the dark about Destiny, to the point where I didn't even know what kind of game it was until I started playing the retail version. So to get past all the hype surrounding this game, here are the facts. Destiny is an open-world multiplayer-only first-person shooter made by Bungie, the company behind the massive hit Halo. It combines elements of Halo, Borderlands, and Diablo into a truly unique experience. When you boot up the game, you create an avatar. You choose between 3 races and 2 genders, which are purely cosmetic, and 3 classes which actually do make a significant difference. After creating a character, you are thrown into the struggle between alien invaders and Earth's last standing city, a giant floating planetoid thing called the Tower. The Tower serves as your home base throughout the game where you can buy new equipment, get optional missions, and interact with other players. Basically, it's the hub world where you can take care of all the non-combat related aspects of Destiny. From the Tower, you can embark on a number of different mission types. Story-based missions, which can be done alone or with a group, patrol missions, which are optional, and raids and strikes, which are essentially harder optional missions, which must be done in a group. All of these mission types take place on the same maps, and you will see other players running around doing missions separate from yours. If you see another player having trouble with a group of enemies, you can even come to his or her aid, and then continue with what you were doing. And thankfully, there is no friendly fire. However, Bungie implemented a great mechanic which keeps missions from becoming overcrowded. In story, strike, and raid missions, once you reach a certain point, you will get a message that there are no more respawns, as opposed to the system which is normally in place, where the world will continue to function while you respawn. In story, strike, and raid missions, you will need to start over from a checkpoint when your entire team dies. However, you can revive your teammates if you are quick enough. Not only does this create a more challenging experience, which is a good thing, but it also means that when you enter these areas, you enter your own private instance of the game. This means no farming bosses, no harassing other players when they are doing story missions, and a greater emphasis is put on each person's individual role within the larger game. Knowing how people are on the internet, it's nice that I can do story missions by myself at my own pace to fully appreciate the story. Speaking of story, Destiny's is pretty standard sci-fi good versus evil. There are some pretty obvious influences from the Halo franchise, but the story of Destiny is pretty short and falls flat. In fact, it's very easy to completely tune out the story while playing Destiny, and focus on the awesome rewards for beating missions or leveling up. Bungie does flesh out the universe by giving you Grimoire cards which can't be read in-game, which in my opinion was a good choice. In similar games like Mass Effect, the Codex quickly becomes a confusing mess that I avoided. But in Destiny, you can either go to Bungie's website or download the Destiny app for your smartphone to read these pieces of universe-expanding backstory. This makes it so that the world is there to explore should you choose to, but it can also be ignored if you would rather just play with your friends and collect loot. Overall, the story is lacking, but I'm willing to cut Bungie some slack for that because of how ambitious and fun Destiny is. But what about players who love online play for first-person shooters? I love a good team deathmatch, and was excited that Bungie included PvP in Destiny, which can not only raise your level, but also be played to earn new gear. While there are only 4 game modes at the time of this review, with Bungie hinting at releasing more, the PvP represents the meat of Destiny, and the reason people will still play it in 2 weeks. With a low level cap of 20 and a weak story, the PvE can get old very fast. But in my opinion, the way Destiny approaches PvP is a step towards the future of online first-person shooters. It's pretty typical for first-person shooters to embrace a leveling system for online play, but Destiny takes this a step further. Instead of simply prestiging and then starting over with some new pictures for your profile, Destiny gives you a character to build. Even after you reach the level cap and have built your character's abilities to your liking, there is always the draw of better gear. This means that rather than playing some team deathmatch just to level up a gun, you will actually be playing to earn new armor and weapons, in addition to leveling up the gear you already have. Destiny takes the next step in the evolution of online first-person shooter games, giving you increased character customization. Not only is the online play fast-paced and well-designed, this is from the creators of Halo after all, but there is always new gear to get. So there you have it. Destiny is nowhere near perfect. Its story leaves much to be desired. PvP matches can be too long, a problem I have found in Halo games as well, so it's possible this is just me. There is no way to rotate your character in character creation, meaning that you can't look at the back of the head that you will be staring at the entire time you're in the tower until you have already created your character. At the time of this review, there is no way to change how your character looks. And there is a strange bug on the Xbox One version where sometimes the game will boot up with no sound, and you need to unplug your Xbox to fix the problem. But for every shortcoming and nitpick, Destiny represents the future of online gaming. It's fun, fast-paced, and doesn't require you to dedicate your life in order to compete. For this, I give Destiny a brilliant. It's rough around the edges, and it's possible Bungie may fix some issues in a patch, but the game is so much damn fun that for the most part you won't even notice. This is Frank from Brilliantly Epic. Stay tuned for more.